There's something interesting about car design, and the small SUV segment is probably the best example of it. We criticise them for being beige, vanilla, boring, and how they all look the same, and yet when a manufacturer dares to think outside that box, like for example with the Nissan Juke or the Toyota CHR, everyone criticises them. Have a look at that thing, it's ugly, it's hideous, what have they done, it's awful. They can't win whichever way they go. So fortunately, Holden hasn't diverted too far outside that box with this, the 2017 Holden Trax. Standard equipment highlights include 16-inch alloy wheels, four-wheel disc brakes replacing rear drums on the old model, daytime running lights, automatic headlights, a 7-inch touchscreen, Siri i-Free voice control, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, rear view camera, rear parking sensors, hill start assist, hill descent control, a leather steering wheel and heated rear view mirrors. Now there's no digital speedo, which is an inclusion we'd like to see standard in 2017, but the general cabin design of the Trax is uncluttered. And with so many modern cars drowning in a sea of buttons and switches, we think the clean execution of the Trax cabin is genuinely noteworthy. The driving position is excellent, and there's plenty of visibility from the driver's seat, and there's also a lot of room in what is an otherwise compact SUV cabin. The Trax gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, and that system works really well. The Bluetooth doesn't though. It's a little slow to connect, and it's glitchy once it is connected. Countering that, however, is the really good quality rear view camera, which is clear and always works really well. If you're a family buyer on a budget, fear not, because the Trax is a practical small SUV. There's enough room in the second row for adults and more than enough boot space for buyers with 1 or 2 children. Once the kids get to their mid-teens, you might need to move up a size into the medium SUV ranks though. The Trax is powered by a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder turbo engine paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. The little 4-pot churns out 103 kilowatts and 200 newton metres. The ADR fuel claim is a reasonably frugal 6.9 litres per 100 kilometres, but we saw the live figure hover around the 8.7 to 8.9 litres per 100 kilometre mark. The Trax gets off the mark snappily enough, and it revs right up to redline cleanly as well. And importantly, for a small engine, it doesn't sound like it's being strangled when you do that. What I do like about the Trax though is the way the gear ratios are nicely matched to the engine's power and torque characteristics. The gearbox itself, it shifts smoothly up or down the ratios no matter how hard you're working it. The Trax gets a local suspension tune, and despite that we'd say it errs on the side of firm rather than SUV-like. It can get a little skittish at speed on bumpy roads, and while it's competent, we've found that it's more comfortable below 70 kilometres an hour than it is above. We've tested the Trax on country roads and within the urban confines, and we've found that it tackles both tasks with ease. It's not a sports car by any means, but then no SUV is really, and if you're looking for a competent daily runaround that also doubles for family duty, there's no major concerns with the Holden Trax. So is the Holden Trax perfect? Well, no, it isn't really, but then none of the small SUVs are, and in fact, some of the more popular small SUVs aren't even the best in the segment by a long shot. We appreciate the changes to the Trax, we think it's all the better for it, but we'd argue that you don't buy the LS as tested here. In fact, buy a higher specification grade, bargain hard on the list price, and you'll drive away in a competent and well-equipped small SUV.